Welcome to Recently Logged, where this week we're talking about the 95th Oscars. Hola.
Hello.
Greetings.
My name is Robbie.
And I'm Micah.
And together we talk about movies on our podcast.
Sometimes.
Recently Logged.
We sometimes do that.
We do it occasionally.
Occasionally. For a couple years now.
But this week we're not really talking about like the movies.
We're definitely talking about the movies.
We're talking about the movies. We're not talking about like a specific movie.
We're doing a special.
We're doing a special episode.
If you can imagine from everything you see before you having to deal with this episode, we're doing an Oscar special.
Talking about the Oscars.
The 95th Oscars, as I said.
You know, I have some, like, I know a lot of people don't really like the Oscars for very justifiable reasons, but it's always been an interesting, like, point.
Well, I'll put in my
for people who like film.
I'll put in my 2 cents about the Oscars. What makes the Oscars special is that they hold some form of prestige, and the Oscars really only mean something because people believe they mean something. It holds cultural relevance, whether the Oscars are kind of a sucky ceremony or the picks are sometimes weird. It still holds cultural relevance over the film industry.
That is true.
Usually conveys a lot about what the film industry is like at that time. Usually, like again, you could be like, oh, it's just a bunch of people patting themselves on the back, but it does show something about the film industry itself. And it's also nice for people who are interested in film to just be like, hey, a film I like, it got an Oscar.
Right. Yeah, no, I've always appreciated, like, even if it's not usually the nominees or winners that I hope for, it's always like a nice taste of what like films came out that previous year and like where we are culturally and where film technology is, different like aesthetic trends. It's an interesting like little taste of film.
Like 80% of the time I disagree with what the Oscars is doing, but that's not really the point in my opinion of like why I enjoy like the Oscars as an award even more so than other awards.
Yeah. And I figured since like this is the first year I've actually put in like an effort to keep up with the Oscars, like nominees and everything, I thought it would be fun to tell you guys what like our favorite nominees were and what we think will win.
Yeah, so
for each category.
So we're gonna go over our picks, which would be the ones we would want to win.
Yes, the ones I'd want
our
to win.
Our predictions, which are gonna be the ones we think are gonna win.
Yes.
And also, if we have any, we don't have to have one, but we decided to include our snubs, things that we wish were nominated.
Things that didn't get nominated in the categories we wanted them to get nominated in.
So we're gonna go category by category, and hopefully it will be fun to listen to.
Hopefully it'll be fun. Exactly.
We'll have a little bit of discussion around each category. We're not just gonna be like, and in this category this, okay, and in this category this. So yeah, we're gonna actually, talk about it like some kind of movie podcast.
There you go. Well, let's get into our first category.
All right, so kicking us off, the first category we're going to talk about is writing original screenplay.
Ooh.
And the nominations are The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness.
Very nice.
So what do you think of the nominations?
Should I just tell you my?
I don't know if we
pick
should.
Or
we didn't plan this.
We didn't plan a structure. Oh no!
I knew we were gonna go over the nominees, but should we just like say our picks and then discuss?
Yeah. I would think that's a fair structure for it.
Okay, Robbie, what are your picks for best original screenplay?
My pick for original screenplay was Banshees of Inisherin. I think a lot of that film's brilliance comes down to its screenplay. There's obviously a lot of other really great elements like with it, but I think it works really well like in its sort of stage play form that Martin McDonough, I don't remember how to pronounce his name, is so famous for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's great. I think it should win. I'm a big fan of like Tar as well and The Fabelmans, but I think it's just a bit more, as a screenplay, a bit more well-rounded and interesting.
I was saying, what's your prediction?
My prediction for the win is Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a little out of left field, but I honestly, I don't know. Since it's like the original screenplay category, I think it'll probably take it.
It's been garnering so much
Yeah.
Oscar hype.
Yeah. What about you, Micah? What were your picks and predictions?
So this was like the hardest category for me to pick
Really?
because I really loved a lot of the original screenplays. I actually loved like all of the, I think besides like Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah,
and,
Triangle
like,
of Sadness is
I don't
weird.
like Everything Everywhere All at Once screenplay as much as the rest of these. I think its screenplay is actually one of its more rough elements.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
But my picks, I put two because I just couldn't decide. Were The Fabelmans
I didn't know I could do that.
and Tar.
Fablemans and Tar, okay.
I think Tar is doing something really unique as a screenplay, and I would really love to see it win. Like, it's just doing something that I haven't seen a movie do.
It is very cool. I honestly, I wonder, since I can't read the screenplay, like most of the time the people voting on this would be like have a copy of the screenplay sent to them. But I'd be very interested to see Tar's screenplay.
Right, and then I picked The Fabelmans because I also think it's a really special original story. I think what it's doing is very interesting.
Should have gotten an adapted screenplay
Adapted from life.
based off of real life.
But I was very close to putting The Banshees of Inisherin. I agree that a lot of its charm is from its script. Like,
Yeah.
its script is really, really brilliant. And I
That's
actually
great, man.
put The Banshees of Inisherin or Everything Everywhere All at Once as my predictions. I think one of those will take it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I think The Banshees clearly has like a lot of hype around it, but I don't really think it would take many other categories.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it getting original screenplay.
Exactly.
though.
No, I think honestly, if I didn't like, I was kind of shaky on like predicting Everything Everywhere, but I knew I expect the Oscars to kind of disappoint me at this point.
Right.
I would want it to go to Banshees, obviously, since it's my pick, but like, I don't know. It's strange. Did you have any like snubs for this category?
I did. I had two. I had two.
Oh, wow.
I had Nope. Which Nope. I'll be mentioning that a lot because
Yeah.
Nope for some
One of the
reason.
best movies of last year.
Nope. And again, I just don't think I guess they didn't campaign for it or something because like Jordan Peele movies usually bring in like a good like Oscar kind of
Yeah, a fair amount of nominations.
and there's just nothing for this, and I think it definitely deserves a couple nominations. I think it's really one of the better movies to come out last year.
Yeah, no, the screenplay is actually really brilliant. I'm a little sad that I didn't think of that to put in my like snubs box over here.
Yeah, no, especially as like an original screenplay.
Oh, yeah.
I really love what it's doing.
Its originality and like brilliance between its like little. It's not quite a B plot, but you know, it's a really like smart screenplay, and I would have actually really loved for it to get nominated here over something like Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a great pick.
And then my other was Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave, man.
Which I'm always just on Decision to Leave. That will be mentioned more than Nope. It was definitely one of my favorite movies.
I mean,
from the
I
last
think it's
year.
a technical masterpiece.
Yeah,
man.
I watched
It's
it and I was
crazy.
just blown away. Like I said, I think it's one of the technically best films that I've seen since something like Parasite, which again I keep beating myself up for because like I think it's hilarious that I'm like this Korean film is
film.
just as good as this other Korean film. But
I mean,
but
Parasite.
it's just because Parasite is like so
It's, like,
technically
one of the
amazing,
best,
and I think
like, films.
Decision to Leave is up there.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison. I put,
But I also really loved the script.
I put Windfall for original screenplay, which I really do adore that screenplay a lot. But yeah,
an interesting pick.
It seems dumb next to Nope. I should have put Nope.
But yeah, I could, yeah, you know, Windfall next to like Nope or Decision to Leave, kind of looks
like weak sauce.
Weak sauce,
Yeah.
yeah. Still a fun script.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to the next category.
let's do it. All right. Next up, we have the category Writing, Adapted Screenplay. And our nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. This is the first category where I haven't seen two of them. So my picks take my picks.
I was about to say that first category was surprising for the fact that we had seen all of them.
Every movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen Women Talking. I wanted to make it to that, but I didn't want to make it to it enough to rent it. And
yeah,
it was never
we
on
prioritized a couple different movies over it when we were doing this episode.
I don't think I've seen Living on anything either.
Living is rentable right now. I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, adapted screenplay, Michael. What's your picks?
Such a weird category for like we did not have that many like adapted screenplays out this year, which is I think a good thing. I'm glad that we had a lot of originals.
Yeah, I was about to say there was a lot of really good originals this year. So
I put for my pick, I put,
what did you pick?
I put Glass Onion.
Glass Onion.
Even though I do not think it's anywhere near as strong as a screenplay as even like Knives Out.
Yeah.
I still really liked it more than the other scripts on here. Top Gun Maverick.
That's fair.
Top Gun Maverick I put as my pick. But out of the ones that I've seen, like I'm just going off of the ones I've seen. And like out of the three of those, All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, and Top Gun Maverick, my preferred script would definitely be Glass Onion. I think All Quiet on the Western Front has a pretty poorly structured script.
Yeah,
and
I'm not a big fan of it.
And Top Gun Maverick just isn't my cup of tea. And for my predictions, I put Top Gun Maverick, and then I meant to do, but I didn't put it on there. I could see Women Talking taking it.
Yeah.
Very easily.
I was about to say, I hear it's a very like literary script, and I know it's adapted, so it makes sense. And then I could see it winning.
And then just knowing the Oscars, I didn't even mark this because that wasn't like my prediction, but just knowing the Oscars, anything with All Quiet on the Western Front on it, I could see All Quiet on the Western Front taking.
I could see it.
There's just every year I think there's just one movie that isn't even that great, but people just love, and then it just sweeps every Oscar category.
Yeah. Coda won Best Picture, Mike.
Coda won Best Picture. A very weird movie to win Best Picture.
A very good movie.
It's not even a bad movie, but it's not that great.
It is not. It's not all that.
What are your picks and predictions, Robbie?
My pick, I actually went with Top Gun Maverick. I really admire how like well structured and paced out that screenplay is. Because I was gonna go with Glass Onion, and I was like, but I have like a couple things that kind of irritate me about Glass Onion.
No, I don't think
from a writing standpoint.
I don't think it's a perfect screenplay. That's why I said I'm kind of like, eh.
But it is really fantastic. That would easily be my like second pick. But Maverick is like a brilliantly structured and paced out action script if I've ever seen one. So I went with that as my pick. And my prediction was Women Talking.
Again, like I don't think that Glass Onion inherently has a better script than Maverick. Again, I picked Maverick as my prediction, either Maverick or Women Talking.
Yeah.
But Glass Onion, I just prefer. It's more my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's a fun script.
Sure. Weird stuff. Did you have any snubs for adapted?
No, I was digging around in my 2022 films and I couldn't think of anything. I was like,
that's why what I wrote was funny.
Yeah.
I wrote two things next to mine. I wrote White Noise ?
Yeah.
Because like that is adapted.
Yeah.
But like, would it? Am I sad that it wasn't nominated?
No. I'm not sad. It's pretty good, but it's not like, why did White Noise get some like a shout out, you know?
And then next to it I put The Northman ? Because I don't know if that qualifies. I do not know what it takes to actually get an adapted screenplay.
I would think it would be original with how old the source material
I was about to say, because it's directly based off of the tale that Hamlet then got based off of. It's not even based off of Hamlet. It's based off of like the original myth that Hamlet is based off of. So I don't think that really qualifies. But the Northman screenplay I do like.
Yeah, no, it's a fun screenplay, I assume. Again, I haven't read any of the screenplays for this. I'm just going off of what I could see in the movie.
Yeah. I would love to, man, I'd love to have a copy of Tar's screenplay.
I wish, honestly, movie studios, if you're listening to this, please publish screenplays as books.
Right?
I will buy them.
Right? That's so crazy that they don't do that. I remember one of our internet friends came across, I think a used thing was selling somebody's awards copy.
For your consideration copy.
Like, for your consideration copy of, what wasn't it, the Glass Onion?
Yeah, the Glass Onion screenplay.
And that's so like and it just looked so cool, and I was like, man, that's so, I wanted screenplays. Like, why aren't screenplays more readily sold? Do they know that they would sell, don't they?
I mean, stage plays aren't readily sold either.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, no, right. Adapted screenplay, I think solid picks. I think, honestly,
this year.
I think we both have pretty solid predictions. Too.
Yeah, I mean, we more or less think the same thing for this one. Yeah. But let's move on to the next category.
Let's do it.
All right, our next category is visual effects, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick.
Very nice.
This is an interesting category.
It is an interesting category. I've always thought so, anyway.
This is another one where we have seen all of the films from this category.
Seen all of them.
So, Robbie, what are your picks and predictions for this category?
My favorite visual effects film of last year, Avatar: The Way of Water. I feel like it's an obvious pick. Like, that's some of the... I think it is the most mind-blowing CGI, like, probably ever made for a film ever.
Honestly. Like, literally, honestly.
It's just insanely impressive, and just, like, I don't know. It looks amazing.
Every time I've thought about that movie, I've just thought about, like, the magic of that movie. That movie is
incredible.
Pure cinematic and technical magic.
Yeah, no, it's not solely good just because it looks like photorealistic. It's like really thoughtfully designed and like well constructed, and it's great CGI. It's great visual effects.
The visual effects, fantastic.
But yeah, that's my pick, and it's also my prediction. I think it's gonna win.
I could see it winning.
I can't see something like Black Panther taking it. I couldn't see. I can't see All Quiet.
It honestly depresses me that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was nominated. The visual effects were not good in that movie.
I think Maverick is the only other one that I could see even having a chance. Really, the Batman's. It looks good, but like honestly, I think Maverick has a better chance at it than Batman does. So
yeah, so my pick was The Way of Water, obviously.
Yeah,
and my prediction would either be like The Way of Water but I usually tried to do something different.
To do a different one, yeah.
And I picked Maverick because I think that would be the only other one here. Again, the Batman doesn't really have like that much that you're like, wow, yeah, the visual effects.
I mean, it looks great.
Well, I'm just saying it's not something that
it's
visual effects are not the standout thing. That's not the first thing I think of. They are very good and they blend seamlessly with the movie, which is great. More than I can say for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, the VFX in that movie are.
And it's a Marvel movie.
Shaky at best.
And it looked better than most Marvel movies have lately, but it still looks way worse than the first Black Panther.
Not great.
And then All Quiet on the Western Front is just like, it's just got more visual effects. Yeah. So like, whatever.
I mean, it looks good, but like, I don't know. I can't see it when something like Way of Water exists.
Robbie, like I said, any category with All Quiet on the Western Front in it, I can just see it winning because.
That's fair.
Literally for no other reason than just because.
Yeah. No, I get that. Did you have a snub, Micah?
I did.
I think we both said the same thing. I
was going to say, yeah, this was a big one that I feel like a lot of people might think. I put Nope.
Yeah.
Nope had some mind-blowing visual effects.
I mean, it looks phenomenal.
The effects all around are just amazing on Nope.
There's two wholly like computer-generated entities in Nope, and they both work pretty well. One is like one of the most mind-blowing like original computer-generated designs I've seen in film.
Jean Jacket from Nope is absolutely insane.
It's insane,
especially by the end. But even just like they're very like real feeling designs to the slickness that they're used in the world. Like they just always feel so tangible. They always feel so present, and the actual visual look of the way it interacts with the world is insane.
It's great stuff, man. I'm real sad that Nope didn't get a nomination.
The visuals in this in general, obviously visual effects is just the effects, but man, the visuals in general partner with the effects so well that this movie is just like seamlessly well done. And if it wasn't for this, like the way they went about the designs and the visual effects and how good and seamlessly they integrated them, I don't think Nope would be as effective of a movie.
Oh no, it wouldn't.
It's got a lot of suspending your disbelief to do. I mean, it's a UFO movie.
UFO
movies are so goofy, and they do a really good job of like, especially using a lot of physical stuff and like a lot of, you know, like the just really cool shots and effects. Like, dude, the house shot. That's
crazy, dude.
The thing is, I don't know, what does visual effects cover? Like, does it cover only digital effects?
No, I think it's both. I'm pretty sure it's practical and
I was about to say, it would make sense
digital.
that it was practical, but I do know that Nope used a lot of practical
makeup
effects.
is the only thing that like would be excluded from that. So I'm pretty sure everything else is like would fall under
because I was about to say, even that rain shot was practical.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And a lot of Jean Jacket's stuff was practical, which is mind-blowing.
It's insane.
Again, it should have been nominated for visual effects.
Been nominated for a lot of things, Micah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next category.
All right. All right, our next category is sound, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick. Again, another category where we've seen all the nominees, which is nice. So, Michael, what did you pick and predict for the sound category?
My pick for sound actually was the Batman. I really love the sound work in the Batman, and that was actually one of the first things I noticed when watching the movie in theaters. Like the very first time I watched it, I was really appreciating a lot of the mixing of the sound.
It is really phenomenal,
especially early on in the movie during a lot of like the intense scenes, like the different clicks and clacks and noises, and just it felt very, and I think it keeps that feeling throughout. I think the sound in the Batman is really immersive, and I think it sounds really slick.
Yeah, it gives the film a lot of personality.
I just love the way the Batman sounds. Like this is the one category that I'd really love the Batman to win.
Interesting. I could see it for sure. I didn't even think about that. I just kind of like dismissed the Batman. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, no, sound is like the thing that it stood out for me. Like just thinking about the movie even. And my predictions were either All Quiet on the Western Front or Top Gun: Maverick.
Interesting. I could see All Quiet taking it.
All Quiet has a bit more like sound involved, as any war movie I think would like this. So I think it has more of a likely chance. But then also Top Gun: Maverick, I could see doing it because sound is also very integral to a lot of the stuff they're pulling off.
There's some great mixing in that movie, dude.
Yeah, and there's great mixing, but man, like the Batman, I genuinely think is one of the best mixed and sound designed movies of the last year.
Interesting. I ended up going with The Way of Water over the Batman, actually. Just because there's so many, it's such an immersive soundscape, and it's like almost wholly original.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. The sound never stood out for me.
It's very impressive to me. I don't know, all of the like banshee calls.
I was about to say, I don't remember it.
Sea creatures.
I don't remember the sound.
That's a shame, man. It's got so much personality, and it's such a I don't know, the world of Avatar is something that is like the one thing that you can almost always praise about those movies.
I think those are definitely the two categories that should have gotten nominated for
VFX and sound. Yeah. I think Way of Water is an easy pick for me. As great as like Maverick's sound is, and I actually said in my Elvis review back when I watched it that it was a shoe-in for sound. And then I watched The Way of Water. I'm like, oh, darn it. That was also my prediction for the winner. I think. I hope the Academy will recognize how brilliant The Way of Water's sound is.
Yeah, honestly, I would still pick the Batman over Way of Water. Like I just I really I remember the sound use so well. in the Batman. And
It defines a lot of the atmosphere.
I was about to say
movie,
it's so much of what makes the movie work, and I think it's really neat.
No, it's a solid pick. I can't argue with it.
But there is one movie that I wish that I think is equal on the sound that I remember, the sound design and the original sound and like sound mixing. There's one movie that I equally hold as high as the Batman that did not get nominated. What would that be, Ravi?
It would be Nope.
It would be Nope.
Jordan Peele's
one
Nope.
of the best sounding movies of all time, probably.
Yeah, dude.
Mixed
oh my gosh,
to perfection.
When jean jackets zooming around everywhere, I'm like, this is crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Dang it, man. Nope didn't even get original score either.
Nope should have gotten a bunch of stuff, but I do agree that was my pick for a snub as well.
Yeah,
I think Nope should have easily gotten a nomination in this.
If you've watched Nope and you pay attention to things like that, you know the sound is good. Like
it's insane.
Like I said, I think
so
the
good.
sound is just as standout and used just as effectively as something like the Batman. It adds so much of its atmosphere. It adds so much of its immersion.
Absolutely,
it's really unique, and I think again, it's genuinely really well balanced.
Yeah, no, great pick. Honestly, I'm not too upset. Like, I wouldn't be too upset really if any of them took it, besides All Quiet, just because I think it's kind of a boring choice. But there's a lot of good nominees this year.
But yeah, I would have easily dropped one of the other nominees to fit in Nope.
Oh yeah, I would have dropped All Quiet like that to put Nope in there. But
okay, I'm actually curious about something real quick because Us didn't get any Oscar nominations.
Oh really?
Yeah,
interesting.
I was pretty sure Get Out did though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Get Out won original screenplay, if my memory serves.
Get Out did. So, and it got several Oscar nominations, which is what I thought. So it's interesting that Us didn't, though it's less of an Oscar kind of movie.
Yeah, Us is a lot more.
I feel like Nope is a very Oscar kind of movie.
Right? It's a technical masterpiece, and it's about the movies, Mike.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a little baffled why Nope wasn't included.
Like if Babylon got like a couple nominations, Nope could have at least gotten like one or two technical nominations in my mind, you know.
All right, well, let's move on to the next category.
Let's do it.
Our next category is short film live action, and I should have looked up the pronunciation of that one thing. And our nominees are An Irish Goodbye. This is the one I was talking about.
Ivalu.
Something like that.
Is how you'd pronounce
Who knows? Not me. I didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
I did not see it, sadly.
Okay.
It's not streaming anywhere.
Les Pupils, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase.
I'm like, I hope you can pronounce Night Ride and The Red Suitcase, Mike.
Yeah. So Ravi, this is a category I did not watch much of. I only watched 2 of these. What are your picks and predictions?
I watched I guess I only watched 2, which is sad.
Yeah, I would have loved to get to more, but they weren't available.
Yeah, they're just not available to people outside of the Academy, really, at the moment. So, but I watched The Pupil and Night Ride, which I know I just pronounced it in the most American way possible.
I watched
that was unintentional.
The Pupil and
okay, but my pick was Les Pupils. I really loved that one, and since I had only seen Night Ride as my alternative,
how embarrassing.
Night Ride I think is not a very strong short film for a lot of reasons, but Les Pupils is quite a good short film in my eyes. So it was
Night Ride is like trying to do something good, but at the same time it's very
weird,
and not great.
Not the move. My prediction for the winner in this category is An Irish Goodbye. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I've heard a lot of people say it's their favorite of the nominees this year, so I'm just going off of that, and I assume it's going to win. But I'd be totally fine with Les Pupils winning this year, so... What about you, Micah?
It's boring because mine is exactly the same. I only watched Les Pupils and Night Ride. I picked Les Pupils, and I think An Irish Goodbye is gonna win. I've heard a lot of hype around it. I've heard a lot of great things. It looks really good. That was the one that I really wanted to that was the one short film that I really wanted to get to, but it was nowhere.
Yeah.
Les Pupils is actually really fun though. I think
It's a really good film.
I mean, I've talked about this on the podcast before. I don't like short films typically. Oftentimes they highlight a lot of writing and film tropes that I do not like. Like they just end up promoting a lot of things in film that I particularly don't like.
Which is fair, I guess.
So it takes a lot for a short film to really pass my bar of judgment. And I think Les Pupils very efficiently justifies itself as being a short film. I wouldn't really want it to be any longer, and I wouldn't really want it to be any shorter. And I think it's just a sweet little cool thing.
It's a sweet little film.
I think it perfectly executes the being a short film, not being annoying and like over dramatic and over emotional. I think it's very nice, tight. It looks really good. And yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, no, I would tend to agree. Very, very brief category this time, mostly because we haven't really watched a lot of the nominees in this one.
And they're short films.
Films. Oh my goodness. I didn't pick a snub for this category.
Neither did I.
Just because, like, it always is strange to, I think, the short film category, because, like, there's usually not a major studio or anything behind short films, so that it's hard to gauge, like, what should be nominated, you know?
It's always a weird mix of stuff that gets nominated. But let's move on to our next category.
Yeah. All right, our next category is short film animated, and our nominees are The Boy, the Mole, and not and the Fox, dang it. The Fox and the Horse. I always want it to be 3.
Those 4 short films, huh?
Yeah, all 4 of them. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse is the first one. The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. Those are the nominees for this category.
Are we bleeping the one?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna bleep it.
That's really funny. It's gonna make it sound worse.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you wanna see the full title of that one, I just didn't want to put it. We try and keep our podcast relatively clean so most people can enjoy it. But I figured I'd bleep it just for some people's comfort.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool lineup this year.
I've seen 3 of these.
We've seen 3 out of the 5. I really wanted to see An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, because it looks really cool, and I'm a big fan of stop motion. So, but alas, it's not anywhere. But yeah, what were your picks and predictions in this one, Micah?
My pick was Ice Merchants. I think that's one of the best animated short films I've seen. Again, it does a really, really good job of like passing the bar as a short film, even though it really skirts close to doing that kind of hyper emotional, meaningless,
very melodramatic
stuff that short films often do that like drives me insane. But it really does a great job of pulling it off effectively. It doesn't try to be too over like, oh, you should be crying your eyes out, but at the same time it comes off as really sweet. And genuinely the animation is crazy impressive.
What
they're doing with perspective work in it is insane, on top of the fact that the animation style is genuinely beautiful. I would love to watch like an entire movie in this animation style. It really just looks fantastic. The physicality of the animation is insane, and I really appreciated the story. So I loved Ice Merchants. My predictions were The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, or My Year of X.
You totally showed me up on pronouncing the Boy, the Mole. I could not get through it.
I think My Year of X has a lot of like kind of oomph behind it. I've heard a lot of talk about it. It just feels like the kind of thing, from what I've seen.
I could totally see it winning.
It feels like the kind of thing that would win the Oscar. And then The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse seems like something that would also win an Oscar. It kind of bothered me. I did not like the dialogue. I thought it was actually kind of bad on a dialogue front, but this is exactly the kind of thing I could also see winning an Oscar. It's very, again, like hyper emotional for some reason. It's it has no reason to be, and I will stand by that. I have some strong criticisms of that short film, but it's got, like, I don't know, it just seems very much like the kind of like thing that the Oscars would pick. One of those two. That's their wholesome pick and their not wholesome pick.
Right. I ended up picking The Ice Merchants also. It's like you said, it's just a kind of a masterwork in like short form animation and, you know, great lens choices, even though there weren't lenses. Yeah, no, Ice Merchants. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. My prediction for the winner is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. But you make a good point. My Year of Dicks, I think, is a very strong contender for this category. I didn't even think about it. But,
yeah, no, that's what I think's gonna win. Honestly,
yeah, honestly, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't have too much to add.
Can't wait for the mole to walk up and be like, the kid being like, "Excuse me, Mr. Mole.
Mr. Mole,
what is the most impactful thing that has ever happened in your life experience with your very sad and tragic life that I'm sure exists?" And then he's like, "Well, boy, I remember my grandmother and her grandmother and her grandmother once told me, 'Live, laugh, love.'"
Wow.
And I live by those words.
But Micah, imagine that with really great animation.
No, the animation is beautiful. Whatever, it's well paced.
You need to get on the
animation
Boy
is
and the
beautiful.
Mole train.
Whatever. The dialogue sucks.
The dialogue is a bit much sometimes,
No,
but
it's
I think it works.
it's completely out of place. It has nothing tying it to the dialogue. Like, again, why are they mentioning the things that they're mentioning? It makes no sense. It makes zero. It bothers me so much. They have no reason to bring up the topics that they do, and literally every chance they can, they say some inspirational phrase. Like, again, like there's just a storm and they're all like huddled together, and then the horse is like, "Sometimes life's problems begin to feel big, and when they do, you have to hold on to what you love." And I'm like, who? Shut up!
Oh my
What are you
gosh.
talking about? It's
Micah's
just a storm.
Micah's the resident cynic of recently logged, apparently.
I hate the dialogue.
I really
in this.
enjoyed that film.
Listen, if I could mute the film, I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people. I was really sad when I found out how many
Dude, the
people I
animation is
know
beautiful, and the
didn't
story
like
is
it.
sweet, but the dialogue straight up sucks.
I don't know, man. I thought it was good. You make me sad, Micah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next category. The next category is production design, another one we've both seen all of the films for.
Yeah.
And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans.
Very nice.
What are your water drinking picks and predictions?
Well, as my water drinking habits might lead you to believe, my pick was Avatar: The Way of Water. I think the water village like design is like worth the nomination and the win, honestly.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good stuff in that movie. I ended up, for my prediction, I went with Elvis. Because I just wasn't really sure what to go with. Like, The Fabelmans is, like, fine. All Quiet on the Western Front is fine. Babylon's fine. Like, I don't know. I would be, like, I'm kind of indifferent to this one. Just mostly because it's one of the categories I'm not as familiar with, like, on a technical level.
Which is interesting because production design is always one of my favorite technical aspects of movies.
Yeah, but yeah, I picked Way of Water. My prediction is Elvis. What about you, Micah?
My pick was also The Way of Water. I think it's really, like you said, a very unique, very interesting, and very impressive blend on just all fronts. I've always loved Avatar's production design. And, a lot of it's digital, but I still think it pulls it off in a really interesting way. And the designs, like the actual design work behind it is brilliant.
Exactly, yeah. That was my thought.
My predictions were All Quiet on the Western Front because of course it would win, and Babylon. Because
Babylon.
actually I disagree with you. I think Babylon's production design is really one of the standout elements of Babylon.
I can see, yeah, I can
especially
see it.
like thinking of like the movie set scenes and like
that's a good
even the
point.
mansions that the different parties take place at. All the different locations feel really well designed and thought through. And I feel like it very much stands out among the movie to make it something that would win. I could see it winning.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, you've convinced me, Micah.
Well, you've convinced me.
I mean, none of my predictions are all that, like, thoughtful most of the time. But like, yeah, no, I think Babylon's a solid pick. And we didn't, I didn't write down any snubs for this category.
For some reason, I didn't write it down. I thought I wrote it down, but my only pick would be probably The Northman.
Ooh,
I think The Northman has really, really good production design. But I don't think it would win or really get nominated. Fantasy never gets nominated for stuff like that. And like, you know, it's whatever. It's like saying I would want like The Green Knight nominated for production design. Never gonna happen.
Yeah. But yeah, unless you have anything to add, let's go ahead and move on.
Did The Green Knight get any Oscar noms? I don't think it did.
Know.
I don't think it did. But yeah, let's move on to the next category.
All right, this category is music, original song, and the nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Natu Natu from RRR, and This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
We have listened to all of these, even though we have not seen Tell It Like a Woman.
Yes, which is a very hard film to track down.
and half of these are kind of embarrassing.
Dang, what?
Dude, I stand by that.
I mean, Hold My Hand is like that.
Hold My Hand is
I don't know.
embarrassing.
It's all right.
It's embarrassing. Applause, embarrassing.
Yeah, no, Applause isn't great. But I don't know. What were your picks and predictions for this category?
My picks, I had two. I was kind of torn between one, but really I want one specifically to win. I just really like the other song as well.
Yeah.
But I really want Natu Natu from RRR to win. I'm really sad that RRR didn't get nominated for like anything else.
International, yeah.
Even like yeah, come on, man.
Should have gotten international. Come on.
Are you kidding? Anyway, it's not Natu Natu is genuinely a really great song, and it's used in a really fun way in the movie, and I really enjoy that a bunch. So that would definitely be my pick. And then my other pick would be This Is a Life, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I really like that song, but I also don't think it holds as much merit as Natu Natu because like I don't even remember it in the movie. I think it's like a credits song. So my prediction would also be Natu Natu because I think it's got the kind of like I think people
are rooting for
it enough, and like, you know, it's the only thing it got nominated for, and RRR has gotten a lot of discussion, so I feel like it could definitely pull it off. If not, people are going to be pretty upset.
Absolutely.
But I could also see something dumb like those other three winning.
I'm like bracing myself for Applause to win or something.
Oh man. What are your picks and predictions?
My pick was Natu Natu. I keep listening to that song like still all this time after I've seen RRR. It's so much fun.
Learn the dance.
It's an electric song. I can't deny it. And it's also my prediction for the winner. I think it's got the power, like you said, for the reasons you said.
Yeah.
I think it could pull it off.
But like Hold My Hand.
I really do like This Is a Life. I think it's a great song.
Yeah,
I'm
really
a big
fun.
David Byrne fan.
Yeah, David Byrne's been doing this thing lately where he's been pairing with like pop female artists, and the voices have been going like surprisingly well together.
It's great. He's a great vocalist, Mike. Will I convince you?
Well, no, I've always liked his his voice, but like it's often paired with weird things. But I think honestly, the pairing of the artists he's been working with lately has been really, really cool.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I think it's a rather short discussion for this category, but I think Natu Natu is...
Yeah, I think it should win.
Really the standout here.
That's the one that it should win.
Yeah. But let's move on to the next category.
Our next category is Music Original Score. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. Which, how embarrassing is it, Rebby? The All Quiet on the Western Front is here. That score sucks.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Honestly, I kind of liked listening to the score more outside of the movie than in the movie.
It's better outside of the movie, but it kind of sucks in the movie.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the way that's
like three little drones. I hate it. But what are your picks and predictions, Rebby?
My pick was Babylon. Big Justin Hurwitz fan. I think honestly, if Babylon were to win for anything, I would want it to be score. because I just think it's really fun, and
Yeah.
it works really well in the context of the film. But my prediction for the winner is the Banshees of Inisherin. I think it's got just a really great, very simple score.
So annoyed that you can't get any of like the violin fiddle stuff.
Yeah, but Carter Burwell, he's a great composer, and I think I think he's gonna get it. I think Banshees is a
Yeah, I
pretty
could
pretty
see
good
that.
pick. What about you?
My pick is also Babylon. Again, huge Justin Hurwitz
Yeah, I
fan.
love Babylon.
I agree. I think if anything, like if Babylon should win for anything, it should be music.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
The score is really, really great. It's very interesting too because it kind of effectively does an interesting kind of score. It's not like your typical movie score in a certain ways. So I really like what it pulls off.
It's a very in your face score.
My predictions would be the Banshees of Inisherin. I do think it's got a lot. I think it's garnering a lot of like. It's got a very strong Oscar campaign specifically for its score. And I also think it's a really beautiful score.
Yeah.
And very nice, very understated. Again, I was so darn annoyed that like I went to go listen to the thing and they didn't even have the Banshees of Inisherin, like the song, you know? It's about a musician and he writes a song and the song is the name of the movie, and yet it's not included on the soundtrack. So I'm kind of upset about that.
You'll have to watch the movie to hear it, Micah.
But I could also see the Fablemans pulling it off.
I could see it,
just because John Williams, he's got the juice. I don't think this is really his best score by a long shot.
No,
it's not something standout for me, but I could see him winning.
I mean, it's still a phenomenal score. Like I think if it wasn't John Williams, I'd be like, oh yeah, man, I love the Fablemans score.
Do you have a snub for this?
I do. I really enjoyed the score for Kimmy, that Soderbergh movie that came out right around the beginning of last year, I think. But it's actually one of the movie scores that I revisited the most over the course of this year. I really enjoy how like
score.
Mysterious and very like defined it is tonally. It's a great score in my mind.
I put as a snub for original score Nope.
Nope's a good pick too.
Because I really love Nope's score. I think it's really fun. I think it's fun to listen to. I think it's fun in the movie. I think it does a really effective job of tension and also being a lot more kind of goofy, which I would say Nope is a lot more goofy.
It is a kind of a goofy movie, yeah.
So I definitely think Nope. I think Nope should have been nominated for score.
That's a solid pick. I would have been so happy if Kimmy got a nomination. There's no reason.
There's no way. There's no way they would even want to campaign for Kimmy.
For Kimmy, yeah. I just love that movie.
Literally, although anything could win this, and I wouldn't be too upset as long as it's not All Quiet on the Western Front.
I was about to say, I actually really like all of these scores except for All Quiet on the Western Front. We haven't really talked about Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I think it's an alright.
I thought the score was just like fine. That's why I didn't bring it up. I think it does its job well.
It's trying to juggle a lot of styles. Yeah, obviously.
It's not something standout that I would even listen to.
I don't really revisit. Yeah, I haven't really revisited it past like the first time I listened to it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like again, I think All Quiet on the Western Front score is actively bad for its movie.
Yeah, but yeah, that's original score.
Yeah,
let's move on to the next category. All right, our next category is makeup and hairstyling. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale as our nominees. We've seen all but The Whale in this case, so pretty good majority. What are your picks and predictions, Micah?
My pick is Elvis, actually. I really love the makeup and hairstyling in Elvis.
I mean, it is quite good.
I think it's really effective. I think it does a really good job of capturing like the feeling of a lot of the kind of hairstyles and makeup that, you see with Elvis. I think it really brings Austin Butler to life in a good way.
Yeah.
I think what they did with Tom Hanks is funny.
Oh my gosh. I almost forgot about Tom Hanks.
But at the same time, I think it works pretty seamlessly, similar to something like The Batman.
Yeah.
And my predictions would be probably All Quiet on the Western Front, or maybe Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Interesting.
I could see All Quiet on the Western Front taking this because they really just They went for it with a lot of the makeup. I'm like whatever, but they did do a lot of a lot of makeup for in All Quiet on the Western Front. And then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I could see for especially a lot of the hairstylings and stuff in it.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of the makeup is very good as well. But yeah, those were my picks and predictions.
Yeah, not really a bad selection of the ones I've seen. But my pick was All Quiet on the Western Front. I really enjoyed the makeup and everything, especially in the fighting sequences in that movie. It was quite good. I could see my prediction was Elvis taking it, just because I think, I don't know, given the whole Bohemian Rhapsody thing happening, I don't know. Maybe that'll make people avoid voting for it, but I think I could see Elvis taking it.
At least there's not anything that egregious in editing this year.
Oh gosh. But yeah, no, I think All Quiet on the Western Front is probably my favorite in this category, which, speaking of favorites, I was really shocked that Everything Everywhere All at Once didn't get a nomination for this.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I would have...
did they hit the limit? What's going on here?
Because I really even more so than I like a lot of the costume design from Everything Everywhere All at Once. The makeup and the makeup is crazy and the hair is really, really good.
It's great, man.
I don't know, especially from Joy. The makeup and hair that she has throughout, I find a lot more interesting than even her costume changes.
Yeah, no. For my two, this is one of the few categories that I actually put two snubs. I put The Northman and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I would agree with both of those.
Yeah,
I think The Northman does a really effective job of using its hair and makeup to kind of add to a lot of its atmosphere for its characters.
Makes the world feel a lot more complete in that movie.
There's a lot of grime, a lot of good hairstylings, a lot of good stuff in The Northman.
Yeah. Pretty simple category by my account. Just because this is one that I'm not as familiar with, but I feel like pretty strong picks.
Yeah. And so let's move on to the next category. Our next category is International Feature Film, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina, 1985, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl.
Very nice. I have seen all but two of these.
And I have seen two of these.
Yeah.
What are your picks and predictions, Mr. All but two of these?
Well, of the three I've seen All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina, 1985, and EO. EO is pretty easily my pick out of this batch. We just watched it pretty recently, and I think it's a technical marvel, honestly, and I would totally be okay with it winning international feature. My prediction is All Quiet on the Western Front, just because, of course, I don't know, it's been garnering a lot of hype and everything. I don't know. I could see it winning very easily, but EO would definitely be my pick. What about you?
Pretty much the same, yeah. I mean, I only watched EO and All Quiet on the Western Front, and I loved EO. EO was insane.
EO's so
I loved
good.
what it's doing. It's really effective. It's really cool. It's really I don't know, it's exciting. I loved EO. Great movie. That's what I would want to win.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that All Quiet on the Western Front is just going to take it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And what about your snubs, Micah? Any big international films?
There were two. There were two snubs that were pretty big.
I put down two.
RRR, obviously.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why it wasn't nominated.
I would honestly take RRR over All Quiet and Argentina.
All right. And then Decision to Leave would be the other one.
Oh my goodness.
Both of those films are really fantastic, great international films, and I was very sad that neither of them got nominated. I haven't seen The Quiet Girl or Close or Argentina 1985, but I would replace any of those for Decision to Leave and RRR.
Yeah, I mean, I think Decision to Leave is one of the best movies to come out in the past 20 years. So I obviously think it should have gotten nominated. But yeah, no. Great snubs, unfortunately. Although I can't be too mad because EO's here.
EO is here.
It's a phenomenal film.
Go watch EO.
Go watch EO. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Great stuff. All right, let's move on to the next category.
Yeah. right, this category is film editing. One of my personal favorites.
Oh.
The nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. Another category where we have seen all of the nominees.
I need like the Brazil mentioned image, but for Tar.
Quite good. But what were your picks and predictions for editing, Micah?
My pick was Tar. I loved the editing in Tar. I love Tar.
Love Tar. Tar is life.
Lydia Tar. Tar.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely think the editing is really like one of the kind of four pillars of Tar. I think without its editing being as good as it is, I don't think it would be as effective of a movie as it is.
Dude, if you got
how long it is.
If you got a bad editor for Tar, it would have killed that movie. And destroyed it.
With some of their dream sequences and stuff, you just needed a strong editor who knew how long to hold on shots.
Exactly.
Who knew the pacing of the different scene to scenes. Like it just needed the good editing, and it has the good editing.
Yeah, that movie's rhythm is like vital to it working at all, and it really works.
I mean, I think of even like the editing during like the conducting scenes, crazy stuff.
Great stuff.
I
man.
love the editing in Tar.
I can't imagine editing Tar. That's crazy.
And then my predictions would be The Banshees of Inisherin or Everything Everywhere All at Once. I can honestly more see Everything Everywhere All at Once taking it.
Yeah.
Because it's just...
It's a bit more
what it is.
blatant, and it's... Yeah.
But I think The Banshees of Inisherin, again, has a lot of good hype around it, and I think it does have some very nice film editing.
Yeah, it's got a nice, smooth feel to it. I really like it. My pick was obviously Tar. I feel like I couldn't really go with much else. Like you said, the editing's so vital to that movie, and I think it's all the better for it. It's just a pretty much a masterwork in film editing. My prediction is Everything Everywhere. It's got a very blatant, blatantly good, obviously, sense of editing and like make it.
I mean, the editing is impressive.
It's great,
more than anything else.
It's very impressive. I don't think it always flows the way I want it to, but it is very impressive just in general scale.
Yeah, and if it was any worse in the editing, you would feel it. Like that's the thing when watching it. Like even one of my actually my cousin. I was trying to remember who did that, but yeah, it was our cousin Zach.
Yeah, been on the podcast
after watching it. He's been on the podcast after watching it, and he's not like super into like a lot of technical aspects of film criticism, but even he, after watching it, was just like, wow, how did they edit
like
that? How
exactly.
did they go about like in the editing room edit that? Because it really is like a marvel to
it's crazy,
edited.
Man.
But at the same time, I don't think it's actually technically better editing by any means than Tar.
Honestly, if not for Tar's just sheer like brilliance and greatness, I would pick Elvis.
I was about to say I do want to shout out Elvis.
Elvis is really well edited.
Elvis is unconventionally edited.
Yeah.
And I think it pulls it off really well. I was about to say, if you didn't mention it, I was going to give a shout out to Elvis.
And editing like rhythm of Elvis is like honestly one of my favorite things about that movie.
And again, Elvis is also crazy impressive in its film editing because it's very unconventional, and the fact that it works and that it's really engaging and snappy and never feels too even though Baz Luhrmann's style definitely has a tendency to just be like and I think Elvis is also a very crazy impressive movie to edit.
Yeah, no, that was my second like prediction. If not Everything Everywhere All at Once, I would definitely assume Elvis would win. But yeah.
And then I actually have a snub for this category too, because I think Decision to Leave's editing was outstanding.
I mean, it is, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we'll just
the way the VFX incorporate to the editing in Decision to Leave is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the editing is kind of brilliant, and I think in Decision to Leave, a lot of its sequences wouldn't work as well as they do if not for some really stellar paced editing.
The big takeaway of this episode is going to be go watch Decision to Leave.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's did you have any prediction or snub? I mean,
no, I didn't pick anything in particular out. The one that I would have shouted out if it wasn't on here would be Elvis, because that was the one that really like struck me this past year in editing.
All right, well, let's move on to the next category.
Let's.
Up next is Documentary Short Subject.
Very nice.
The nominees are The Elephant Whisperers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 of these.
I was about to say, I have seen all but How Do You Measure a Year? Because I can't track it down anywhere.
I've heard it's kind of embarrassing though. I know some people. One of my friends watched it and they were like, it's cool in theory, but it's also the questions this guy asks are. He was like, the questions this guy asks are really lame, and it took him like 18 years of his daughter's life to realize that the questions were really lame that he was asking. Like apparently one of the questions is like, what is power, and like what is love, and stuff like that. Like, so apparently it's very odd.
Okay.
And apparently the daughter gets kind of annoyed with it as it goes on.
I mean, I want to see it still, obviously. But yeah.
But yeah, what are your picks and predictions, Remy?
My pick for a documentary short subject was The Elephant Whisperers, which I was a big fan of. It does a great job characterizing all of its like main players, including the elephants, Micah. Gotta love it.
What?
But it was a good time. Definitely a big recommendation from me. Haul Out would definitely be my second pick. I wasn't crazy about Stranger at the Gate, as like all right as it was, and the Martha Mitchell Effect actively kind of annoyed me, but you know, Haul Out and Elephant Whispers are definitely like 2 good short documentaries. Yeah. I think Haul Out's gonna win though. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
What about you?
I picked actually the Martha Mitchell Effect. I only watched 2 of these, and I didn't think either of them were that great. I watched the Martha Mitchell Effect and Stranger at the Gate. I was going I wanted to make it to Haul Out and the Elephant Whisperer, but I just didn't have time and didn't feel like it yesterday. I being home from work, and I sat down and watched a bunch of short films and stuff, and I was like, I just don't want to make it through these, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But I picked the Martha Mitchell Effect. It didn't actively annoy me. It was literally just fine. I think it's a fine short film, or like a documentary.
It just doesn't work for me as a film.
It does a fine job presenting the stuff that happened.
It's like a Wikipedia article.
Well, no, it's like a YouTube video. Honestly,
yeah.
It's like an informative YouTube video, like for a school.
But it's just not interesting.
Like a teacher would commission.
It's just not an interesting way to present what's there.
No. And then Stranger at the Gate has like a fine message, but at the same time, it's kind of tonally whack.
It's so weird
because
the movie's so weird.
It's very on the perspective of this guy who was going to like blow up a bunch of innocent Muslims.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, good thing he learned his lesson and didn't do that.
It's like, it like starts to frame like the whole story as like, oh no, this happened like in the past. And then it's like, well, no, actually it didn't. He changed his mind. And then that was the end of it. Which is cool.
Which, I could see Christians making something like this too.
It's
just kind of weirdly sided stuff.
Yeah, it's so strange. Like, it's a cool idea for a short film, but it's just not the move.
I was about to say, and like, really, we got to go through all of this to be like, good job for not blowing up a very hurt people.
Well, I don't think that's like the takeaway of the movie. But
that's the feel of the movie, is like isn't that so great that he didn't do it? Which again, I get the message of like the very like redemptive power of what they're going for. Like again, that Islam saved him, and that is very cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, but it's just an embarrassing way to go about it, honestly.
It's a very odd choice narratively for a short film, and not a great.
My predictions are just Haul Out and the Elephant Whisperers. I didn't watch either of those. I wanted to, but I could easily see both of those winning. Especially Haul Out, it just has that kind of...
Yeah, it's got the environmental message.
Yeah, it's got the kind of the juice that wins a documentary Oscar.
Fair enough. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next category.
Let's.
All right, this category is documentary feature. And the nominees are All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. Micah, what was your pick and prediction in this category?
I only watched one of these. There was another one that I wanted to make it to. Like I don't know. I like documentaries, but I don't often feel very like most documentaries don't do enough for me to really want to go out and watch them. Quite frankly, I usually get bored with a lot of documentaries unless the subject is really good or the filmmaking is really good.
Yeah, which is the case for the documentaries I watched in this category.
My pick would be the only one of these that I actually watched, which would be All That Breathes. I really love what All That Breathes was doing. It's very simple, very sweet. It's got an interesting message. I'm a big bird guy. Love birds.
Big bird guy.
Love me some birds. And I absolutely adored the cinematography in this. I think it does a really effective job of communicating what they're doing while also being a very, very unique and cinematically rich documentary.
It's a very well shot documentary. I was very shocked when I was watching it. I'm like, dang, this is cool. This is crazy.
And my prediction would be the other one that I wanted to get to, but didn't. Fire of Love.
Interesting.
I could see this easily winning. It looks really good. But it also has that kind of almost like mainstream kind of appeal, kind of similar to something like how everybody was watching. What is it called?
Is there another documentary?
No, like from a couple of years ago, that one documentary, the climbing one. What is that called?
Free Solo?
Free Solo. Like it's got that kind of like Free Solo kind of vibe to it.
I guess, yeah.
In terms of just like it's one that actually a lot of people have like heard about, a lot of people are talking about it, a lot of people like it. It's got a very like, I don't know, film.
Yeah, I could see it.
Atmosphere around it. I haven't watched any others, so I don't really have any comment, but I've at least seen some of Fire of Love as well.
Yeah. I watched All That Breathes, Fire of Love, and Navalny. I'm very sad that I didn't get to All the Beauty and the Bloodshed because I hear it's phenomenal. But my pick was Fire of Love. I thought it was a very technically impressive documentary. I thought it was a very compelling documentary. Even more so than Navalny, which I also really enjoyed, even over All That Breathes, which, you know, I think it's a great documentary. Not really any that I dislike, but Fire of Love is my favorite, so that's my pick. And my prediction is All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I've heard nothing but like rave reviews for that, so I just think it's going to take it. Any snubs, Micah? Probably not.
No, I don't have any snubs.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in myself again, where I've just kind of like stood around and not watched a lot of the major documentaries as they come out. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next category.
Let's. Our next category is directing, and the nominees are Martin McDonagh, The Banshees of Inisherin, The Daniels, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg, The Fabelmans, Todd Field, Tar, and Ruben Östlund, Triangle of Sadness.
This is another one that we've seen all of them for.
Yes.
Very nice.
Interesting stuff. See, this is actually a category that I struggle with to pick.
Yeah.
But what are your picks and predictions?
My pick for this one is actually Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. I think that movie has a very like direct and cohesive like direction, you know. And I mean, obviously Spielberg is a great director, and yeah. I would just be really happy to see him get it in this. And I think it's honestly one of his strongest movies in his whole career.
Yeah.
My prediction though is Todd Field for Tar. I could see Ruben Östlund taking it for Triangle of Sadness, but honestly, I think that's like a misplaced.
I don't think the direction's that like one of the stronger elements of Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, no, I don't think it should. I'm just saying I could see it.
Which is funny because like the two things that it got nominated for are like the two things that I think are kind of weak about it. It's right. Screenplay and its direction.
There's other stuff that I like about that movie that is not that. But yeah. Fabelmans is my pick, Steven Spielberg, and Todd Field for Tar is my prediction. What about you, Micah?
My pick is also Steven Spielberg, which is Steven
Spielberg.
But at the same time, he's a fantastic actual like director, especially when it comes to actors. Yeah, I think the actors in this,
the Fabelmans ensemble,
the direction in his acting, is just crazy. I love his work. He always gets such good performances out of people. And I also really just love his the feel that he's going for throughout this. You can really feel his direction and everything everything in this, especially being that it's such a personal story to him. It feels like a Steven Spielberg directed movie, more than even a lot of his movies do. So I would definitely want him to win this.
Easy pick, for me.
My predictions actually are probably the Daniels or Martin McDonagh.
I'm fearful that the Daniels might take it.
And the Daniels, I don't even think their direction is that strong in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think they actually have stronger direction in something like Swiss Army Man. But like,
it's an impressive film.
The Daniels, I could, like, just from the way the Oscars are, I could easily see the Daniels winning. And then I also really like Martin McDonagh's like direction.
Yeah, no, he has a very good tone that I actually think works a lot better in Banshees than it does in something like Three Billboards.
Yeah, I really like what he's doing in the Banshees of Inisherin and what he gets out of the actors. And Todd Field is obviously also a good choice. I could see that winning. They've got a big Oscar campaign for him specifically.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the auteur of Tar outside of Cate Blanchett.
Yeah, that's not the thing that I would pick for like Tar to win.
Yeah.
Do you have any snubs?
No, I didn't on this one. I thought about putting Jordan Peele for Nope, but
I put Jordan Peele.
I didn't want to be like that redundant. I mean, obviously, I think it's a really well-directed movie.
I think it's one of his better directed movies, honestly. I like, in terms of, I think it's better directed than Us.
It's got a lot more of a cohesive like tone and everything than Us does.
Yeah, and I think it's got a harder tone to even pull off than Us. Like, absolutely. I just think Nope is genuinely really impressive from its direction standpoint. But I don't, it's Nope. It's Jordan Peele.
Honestly, like, I'm really happy with the directing lineup, except for, Triangle of Sadness. I don't really think that should have gotten a nomination, but but let's move on to the next category.
Let's.
All right, our next category is costume design. Our nominees are Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
She sure does.
That's the only nomination for Mrs. Harris I'm happy to see.
She heads that direction. I've only not seen Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
I've seen all of the nominees in this category, but what are your picks and predictions for this one, Micah? There's a lot of good ones this year.
Yeah, I actually really struggled with this one. My pick would be Elvis. I really I really love the costuming in Elvis. I think it's really effective. I think it's really stylized. I think it's really pretty. Like any costume that they put Austin Butler in, whether it's one of the like Elvis costumes or not, I'm like, ooh, that looks so good. And I think that transfers over to a lot of the side characters. I think there's just some genuinely really great costume design in it. My prediction, I don't really have a solid prediction, quite frankly. I could very easily see Everything Everywhere All at Once taking it. I could very easily see Black Panther Wakanda Forever taking it, even though I'm kind of towards it. And I could easily see Babylon taking it, even though Babylon I don't think really has that standout of stuff. But I feel like you always have to get one that's like very grounded. I feel like that always happens in the costume design category. Yeah, you always get like just some period piece,
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, I don't really have anything solid for costume design in terms of predictions.
I ended up picking Everything Everywhere All at Once for my favorite in this category. I think its costuming is really fun and like wacky, and I think it works really well for the movie. It's just one of the more standout costume design.
Yeah, again, and I would pick the hair and makeup for Everything Everywhere All at Once before costume design, but it wasn't even nominated for hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would swap those if I could, but But yeah, Everything Everywhere is my pick. It's also my prediction to win. I think it's gonna kind of sweep in like the actual like categories like that with the actual like look of the film and everything, because it's a very impressive film in that regard for costume design. I thought about picking Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, almost on principle, but there are some really beautiful gowns in that movie. I would not have been upset like if that takes it also. So Yeah.
Do you have any snubs?
I put down The Northman.
The North,
which I'm now seeing that you have put that down too.
You got to witness the rise of the Northman's costume design.
Wow,
it's very good.
What little clothing that they do wear in,
little clothing
in the Northman.
Sounds like they're all well. I was about to say it sounds like they're all in loincloths, but then again, like the big climactic battle, literally no one's wearing any clothes.
I was about to say, like, there's no clothes in the last scene of that movie. So,
but Roddy, if they were wearing any clothes, the lava would burn them off. Because for some reason, even though it's too hot for their clothes, they're fine. They're not burning up, fighting right in the middle of lava.
Okay, the Northman volcano battle is a great instance of costume design.
The perfect decision to have no costume.
The decision to have no costume at all is really the greatest decision.
No, I genuinely really like a lot of the design work in the Northman. I think a lot of the outfits are really nice, really cool looking. Yeah. I love a lot of this, like the pelt work.
Yeah,
you got a lot of really good stuff.
I mean, there's a reason I put it down as a snub. I'm a little surprised that it didn't get on here.
Yeah,
it looks great.
But let's move on to our next category. Our next category is cinematography, and our nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar.
We love to see Deakins on the nominations.
Mr. Deakins?
Roger Deakins.
What did Deakins?
He shot Empire of Light. Bad movie. But
Ooh, look at the cinematographer who shot Bardo.
Oh, cool.
Got Seven, Uncut Gems, Okja, Midnight in Paris, Panic Room, Lost City of Zed, Anima.
Indeed.
So that's pretty stacked.
Yeah, no, he's a good cinematographer.
I did not watch Bardo or Empire of Light.
Yeah, you're not missing much for Empire of Light, but my pick for cinematography was gonna be Bardo originally, because I really like the use of wide-angle lenses and like spatial awareness and the way shots kind of melt into each other. And that movie is very cool. But I ended up going with Tar.
Chickened out and
I ended up going with Tar again because I love Tar, and Tar is a great movie that is shot very well, and the composition is almost always amazing in that movie. So, yeah, Tar easily my pick. My prediction is All Quiet on the Western Front. I think it's just ambitious enough for like people to be like, oh yeah, it should be All Quiet on the Western Front, but I obviously don't think it should win. I kind of want to give a shout out to Elvis here too, because that movie is insane in its cinematography, and I think it works for the most part. It takes big swings. What about you, Micah?
In similar form, I picked Tar. Really love how Tar looks. Again,
it's
pairing its visuals with its editing, it really blends together into great cinematic language. It's got it expresses a lot through its cinematography. Mm-hmm. It's a very cold looking movie. It's very cold framed. It's very it's a hard movie to pull off looking good, because I mean a lot of it's
great cinematography.
I was going to say a lot of it's really gray too. Like it's a very gray, cold movie, and yet the cinematography really brings it to life, and you get told a lot through its composition.
Yep.
And cinematography for Tar.
It's a phenomenally well shot movie. Yeah.
And similarly, again, I think All Quiet on the Western Front's gonna win, just because those darn people at the Academy. Again, you're exactly right, and I think it annoys me too, because you know what? I just realized that All Quiet on the Western Front wasn't nominated for film editing. That's good. It doesn't have very good.
No, the editing's not very good in that movie.
But like, it really does feel like just like a rip off of the visuals that 1917 are going for. Like just so much of the flavor of All Quiet on the Western Front is just the exact same flavor as 1917, a movie that literally takes place timeline order like a year before this movie. So I don't
timeline
know.
Order. What is this, Michael? Like the World War One cinematic universe?
The World War One cinematic universe.
Oh my gosh.
So I think it's gonna win just because it's got the hype and whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's actually that great, and it's not that original, and it doesn't communicate that much to me personally. So whatever. Do you have any snubs?
I put down the Batman as a snub for this one because I think the Batman is a very, very well shot movie. The use of depth of field and just general composition and everything in that movie is phenomenal. One of my favorite things about it.
Yeah, I agree.
What about you, Micah? Any snubs?
I put the Batman is a really good pick. But I put Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave.
If you can imagine. I think Decision to Leave is one of the more beautiful films I've seen cinematography wise.
Oh my goodness,
and
man.
Its cinematography is in a word like romantic, and it does such a good job of being like romantic cinematography. Like it's so good at communicating what the film is going for.
Micah, there's so many just like shots in Decision to Leave that just blew my mind. Like, how on earth would you do this?
Yeah, there's some insane camera work. The blocking paired with the cinematography is often really fantastic. If it had gotten nominated, it would be my pick over Tar. Yeah, I would pick it over Tar because Decision to Leave, that is one of its best categories. One of its best elements is its cinematography.
Absolutely.
But the Batman is also like I didn't put that in there, but I am kind of sad it wasn't nominated.
Yeah, no, I would have taken the Batman obviously over All Quiet on the Western Front, but even Empire of Light I think is one of Roger Deakins' like worst looking movies. Like, it's not as visually smart as a lot of his work usually is.
Yeah.
So I would have gladly taken the Batman over either of those. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next category. All right, this category is animated feature film, one of our favorites here on Recently Logged. The nominees are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. What were your picks and predictions for animated feature, Micah?
My pick was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I think it's really one of the best like animated movies of the year, which this year has been really good for animated movies. I was about to say,
I'm not really upset with any of the nominees here. Besides, like, Sea Beast is a little weak.
Sea Beast seemed a little weak, but I don't know.
It's not bad by any stretch. It's just a little weak.
That's the only one I didn't watch. But the other ones are like all genuinely really great films. But I think Puss in Boots just really has like. It has something special going for it.
It's got the juice.
It's not even as unique as something like Pinocchio or Marcel.
Yeah.
Or even Turning Red, but it's pulling off everything so effectively, so efficiently. I think as a kids movie, it's very effective. Like I think especially kids nowadays would love it. Mm-hmm. Like absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I also think it really it's just impressive. The fact that they pull off such a simple story to make it so like just so engaging and enjoyable and fun. And the actual animation is beautiful, and the like blocking and the I just lost the word choreography of a lot of the characters, the physicality of them.
Dude,
it's really fantastic, and it works together to make a very unique, cool movie. That's also my prediction, just because I feel like it's got a lot of hype going towards it. But I could also see with how hard Del Toro's been campaigning, I could see Pinocchio taking it.
I could absolutely see Pinocchio taking it.
Heck, Disney could take it again, just because Disney, for some reason, they have a reputation of, even though people are like, wow, look at all these amazing, unique, cool animated films that came out this year, and then they're like, Frozen 2.
Dude, did Frozen 2 win?
I don't think it won, but it did get a nomination.
Not the move. If
Disney's just always in there for some reason.
Yeah.
And I even like Turning Red. I think it's one of the more deserved Disney movies.
I think Turning Red's one of the better Pixar movies of the past little like bit.
But what about you, Remy?
My pick was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which was also my prediction. We both did the same thing. But I really would not be upset at all if Marcel or Del Toro's Pinocchio took this. Like, all three of those are phenomenally great in their own ways, and I'm glad that we have such like a diverse range of animation this year. You can't lose unless like Sea Beast takes this, because even Turning Red, which I would be disappointed that like one of the more interesting nominees in my opinion didn't take it, but I honestly would be fine with any.
I was about to say I adored Marcel.
They're all great.
I loved Pinocchio.
They're all great movies.
Puss in Boots was fantastic. Turning Red was one of the best Pixar movies in a while.
Man. It's a great movie.
Like, again, not a bad pick except for Sea Beast.
Which even then, Sea Beast, not a bad movie. Pretty good, actually. Even by like Netflix animation standards, I think it's actually a pretty solid movie.
Do you have any snubs?
I did put a snub from very early on this year. It's another Netflix film. I put their stop motion anthology film, The House, in there, which I was very fond of back when I watched it, and I've been thinking about it a lot. So I thought it was a worthy addition. I don't think it should win over any of the stuff that was already nominated, but I am kind of sad that Sea Beast would get nominated over something like The House, you know?
Yeah, and I put like The Bad Guys, but also more in a questioning. Like, I don't think it should, again, go over maybe anything but Sea Beast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I still think it was a good film. I still think it could use some decent recognition, but I think it's funny because like a lot of the things that make The Bad Guys stand out are just better in Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I was about to say Puss is kind of like a better example of all the things Bad Guys is doing well, unfortunately.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents on animated feature film.
Animated feature film,
which apparently I've become something of an animated movie kind of guy because like my entire YouTube career hinges on animated stuff.
It's quite good. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next category.
Our next category is actress in supporting role. There is Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Very nice. Pretty good lineup this year. I'm not upset about it.
Oh man, dyslexia does not pair well with trying to pronounce people's names.
I was about to say we've been alternating on these categories and Micah reading those off.
Dude, dyslexia. I looked at Angela and did not know how to pronounce it because I was just reading it. I had nothing.
Well, my pick for actress in a supporting role was Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought she was really good. One of the standout performances of the movie. Angela Bassett was good, but just not really all that memorable to me. I haven't seen The Whale, and Carrie Condon, while good in Banshees, not like I wouldn't pick her over really too many other people.
And honestly, I think the Jamie Lee Curtis nomination is kind of like kind of upsetting to me. I think it's kind of like disrespectful, honestly.
I don't like the fact that she was nominated for this.
Stephanie Hsu like killed in that, and she's really getting overshadowed by like the Jamie Lee Curtis campaign for the movie, which her character is not that good.
I mean, she's good in the movie.
Yeah, but it's one of her like least memorable performances.
I would have, if you told me Jamie Lee Curtis Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'd be like, oh yeah, that was fun.
She's like a bit character, whereas Stephanie Hsu is like the emotional core of the movie practically. I think she carries the movie almost.
Yeah,
she's my favorite performance in the movie, even over Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, my prediction is actually for Jamie Lee Curtis, even though I really don't want her to win this one. As good, like she's good. Don't get me wrong, she's doing a good job here. I don't know. It seems bad for her to like get nominated. Like it's not that good of a. It's not like, oh, she needs to get the Oscar for supporting role for her role.
Like I said, I feel like it's actively kind of rude next to Stephanie Hsu, just like for like, especially with how hard people have been campaigning for Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's weird. It's a weird vibe.
Yeah,
I don't
like it, and I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis, like, this is one of my least favorite Jamie Lee Curtis performances. It's not bad by any means, but it literally is, she's a bit character, literally.
Yeah. What were your picks and predictions?
My pick is obviously Stephanie Hsu. I like it. She is genuinely probably my favorite part about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
She is really great.
I really love her performance. Yeah. My prediction would either be Jamie Lee Curtis, but that kind of upsets me, or Angela Bassett. Also not really my favorite thing, but it just seems like the kind of thing like Wakanda Forever would take an Oscar for.
Yeah, for like, supporting actress. Yeah,
I could see it happening.
Yeah, no, it's a solid prediction, I think. Any snubs for supporting actress?
See, I struggled because I didn't know what technically qualified as supporting actress. Like what qualifies somebody as supporting or not.
I was like, I don't know what I don't know what to put for this.
So who I put, I think would qualify as support. She's not in that much of the movie, and she's billed lower, so I would assume she qualifies as supporting. If like,
I guess
I put Anya Taylor-Joy if I can speak. Anya Taylor-Joy from The Northman.
Oh, The Northman. I thought you were going to say The Menu.
No.
Yeah, that would definitely be a supporting
She's
role.
the lead in The Menu.
Yeah, that would definitely be a supporting
But no,
role.
I figured it would qualify, and I really like her performance. I even like her performance more than something like The Menu in The Northman. She's not in it much, but I think when she is in it, she's got a really strong screen presence, and I really like her character.
Very nice. Yeah, no, that's a solid pick. I put down Margot Robbie for supporting in this, which I didn't know if it would fall under leading or supporting.
That's even more like, yeah, I don't know.
But her work in Babylon is really great.
I think technically she's one of the leads.
Technically, I don't know. It's a toss up. It would depend on what they submitted it as, I think.
Yeah, I have no idea for that.
But yeah, Margot Robbie,
she is really good
for Babylon. She's phenomenal in that. One of my favorite performances in that movie. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next category. All right, our next category is actress in a leading role. The nominees are Cate Blanchett for Tar,
Cate Blanchett,
Anya de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Indeed.
What are your picks and predictions for this category, Micah? Actress in a leading role?
I feel kind of sad to not like have Ana de Armas as an option with her being one of like my favorite actresses, but I do not want to watch
I did
Blonde.
not want to see Blonde.
You know? So I'm sure you did well.
Yeah.
But my pick, man.
I mean, you've only seen 3 of the nominees.
My pick is very strongly Cate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I mean, her performance is Tar, essentially.
Yeah, that's the movie.
That's what everyone remembers. She kind of steals the show. It's so good. It's such a strong performance. Like, it's genuinely one of the most memorable performances of like any movie I've seen. Not just this year.
You get the Lydia Tar is real thing, Micah. That's how good the performance was.
No, I really love the performance. So that's clearly my pick. I really hope she wins for that. As for predictions, I think Michelle Yeoh's gonna take it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to shout out more than anything. I can't really see her taking it, but I'd like to shout out Michelle Williams because I really like her performance. She is really good in The
Fabelmans.
But I don't see her winning.
Yeah, I was about to say just not her lineup, unfortunately, in my eyes. But my pick and prediction was the same as yours. Cate Blanchett for Tar and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once is my prediction. But yeah, any snub, Micah, that you want to shout out?
Yes, actually, Tang Wei from Decision to Leave.
Yes,
she is crazy good. Crazy good.
I mean, yeah, she's really phenomenal in Decision.
Really fantastic. I love her performance. I think her performance is even better than I don't remember his name from like the main guy.
Yeah, the lead. Yeah.
And love her performance in that.
Absolutely. No, it's a worthy shout out.
Would have loved to see a nomination for her.
But yeah, anything else to add? I feel like really all I wanted to do in this section was praise Cate Blanchett's performance in Tar because it's honestly one of the best things I've seen.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes. I mean there are a lot of technical elements backing Tar, but what makes Tar work honestly is Cate Blanchett because you could have all of those really like you could have really good editing, you could have really good cinematography, good direction, you could have all that, and honestly without a powerhouse performance like Cate Blanchett in Tar, it just wouldn't work as a movie. Yeah,
great performance. I hope she gets it, but I think Michelle Yeoh is gonna take it. But yeah, let's move on to our next category.
Our next category is actor in supporting role, and the nominations are Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Very nice. I like it. It's a solid lineup this year. I was really excited to see Brian Tyree Henry get some recognition for his work in Causeway.
I didn't watch Causeway. That's the one I haven't seen here.
He's really good at that. But my actual pick for this category is Barry Keoghan. I think he's really phenomenal in that movie. And this was kind of a tough one because I almost picked Brendan Gleeson instead. Those were really the two. Like, I think Banshees is really like great for its screenplay and its ensemble cast.
Its ensemble is very good.
So I would really be happy with either one of them winning. But my prediction is Barry Keoghan for this category. I think he's going to take it. What about you, Mike?
My pick is Barry Keoghan. I've always been like a really big Barry Keoghan fan.
Yeah, even more so than me, man.
I loved him in everything I've seen him in. I want him to be in more stuff. And I would
He's a lot of fun.
I would love for him to win a supporting Oscar for this. I think he gives a really, really engaging and like sweet performance in this. That's very interesting.
Very memorable. Surprisingly memorable.
I could see Brendan Gleeson taking it for predictions, but I also think Ke Huy Quan could take this easily.
No, he was my second like prediction pick. Absolutely.
He's got a lot of hype around him, like just for being back to acting since
in such a big way.
He hadn't acted since he was a kid, and like just a lot of hype around Everything Everywhere All at Once specifically revolves around him. So I could easily see him taking it.
Absolutely. No, I think it's a solid pick. Not too much actually to mention in this category, which is strange. I do like Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans.
It's so odd that he got nominated.
Yeah, it's very strange. He's only in the movie for like 4 or 5 scenes.
No, it's like 2 scenes. He's in the movie for like 2 scenes, I swear.
But he's really good.
I was about to say he's good in the 2 scenes.
He's really great, yeah.
It's just funny.
Honestly, if you take out the Banshees actors here, I kind of would want Brian Tyree Henry to get it because his work in Causeway is really, really good. He's one of the standout performances of that movie. But yeah, let's go ahead and
hold on. I had a snub.
You had a snub.
I had a snub.
Crazy.
My snub pick would be Stephen Yeun for Nope.
For Nope.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Stephen Yeun in Nope.
He's really good in that movie. My goodness.
He's so good. That's like, I love Stephen Yeun so much, and that's one of his like best performances. And he's not even in that much of the movie.
Honestly,
he's so memorable.
He's the defining, like that's his defining performance for me.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of him, I think of his performance in Nope because it's phenomenal. It's iconic. It's great. He just lends so much.
It's like legendary.
Exactly. I'm turning into him.
He kills. I love his performance in that so much. But I'm a big Stephen Yeun fan.
Yeah,
so
he's great.
Put him in anything, I'll be happy. In fact, you should put him in more movies. Go cast him in more stuff. Go right now.
Go do
it. Go cast him.
Wow.
But yeah, now let's move on to our next category.
Let's. All right, our second to last category is actor in a leading role. We have as our nominees Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul Mescal in Aftersun, and Bill Nighy in Living.
The Irish stay winning this award season.
Right? There's
so many Irish actors nominated.
What are your picks and predictions for this category, Michael?
My pick is Paul Mescal. We just watched Aftersun last night. Actually,
just watched it last night.
We were really wanting to get to it, and this gave us a good excuse to rent it. And that's like a masterpiece of a movie, one of the greatest movies of the decade so far. One of the best movies I've seen in a while. Very, very, very good. And Paul Mescal's performance in it is genuinely just fantastic. The amount he's communicating to you without ever like saying much.
Thing is, his face isn't on screen for a lot of the movie.
And when it's usually like part of his face. His physicality and his acting is genuinely just that good.
Yeah.
He's giving he's giving like a legendary performance here. And I don't think I'd ever even heard of him before this movie.
Yeah, no, this is like one of his breakout roles. He's been in a handful of other like feature-length films, but
yeah, After Sun is genuinely really, really fantastic, and his performance is a very key part of that. So he's definitely my pick. My prediction would be Colin Farrell for Banshees. I could just
yeah.
I don't know. I just see it happening. Yeah. I think he's giving a really good performance. I think he's got a good amount of hype for the role. I could just see the stars aligning for him. But I could also see Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
That's so weird. Even he said that nobody says his name Fraser. Everyone always says Frasier. But Brendan Fraser for The Whale. Not that I haven't seen The Whale, and I don't really like The Whale on a personal level. On a conceptual level, yeah. I don't like the idea of what it's doing, and I don't think, from what I have heard, it goes about it very well.
Yeah.
But it is cool to see Brendan Fraser back to acting.
Absolutely.
I love him as a person. Very tragic stuff happened to him that got him out of acting. So it's cool to see him like back acting, and because of that, there are like a million people who really want him to win this.
Yeah, I could see him winning.
So I could see him winning this just because, really. I'm sure his performance is good. I mean, I've heard it's good.
He's a great actor, yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like that the main reason he would probably be winning is because of how much hype there is for him just being back.
Yeah. No, I could see that. My pick was also Paul Mescal for After Sun because he's really great in that movie, and I also picked Colin Farrell as my prediction. Any snubs you wanted to shout out, Mike?
Yeah, I didn't write them down, but I actually had two.
Okay.
Daniel Kaluuya in Nope is giving, like, I think probably the best performance I've seen from him.
I was about to say, as great as he is in like Get Out, I think
he's so subtle in
his work in Nope is amazing.
Subtle in Nope.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the work he's doing in Nope.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good. And then also I really like and want to shout out Alexander Skarsgård in The Northman. I think especially a lot of his physicality is insane.
No, he's great.
You watch him in something else and then watch him in this, and it just feels like a completely different person. Like, seriously, he looks just completely like he fully embodies the role that he's going for, and I really think it's the kind of performance that I wouldn't really want to see win. It would be like, yeah, sure.
You just want some
Alexander Skarsgård won for The Northman, whatever. He's just some testosterone-fueled guy screaming for like 2 hours. Which isn't all his performance is, obviously. I just, that's the kind of vibe I would get if it won. But I would like some recognition because I genuinely think he's giving a good, pretty layered performance in his time in the movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I would agree. I put down Daniel Kaluuya also, and my other pick was also Diego Calva for Babylon.
Yeah, he's a good performance.
Standout performance.
I think him and Margot Robbie are like the good performance. I don't know. I'm not on the Brad Pitt board. Like, I mean, I don't. I think it's a kind of weak performance from Brad Pitt.
I actually really like Brad Pitt's performance, but I couldn't see like it's not as good.
Diego and Margot steal the show, especially anytime they're in scenes together. They have great chemistry. They're electric. He's really fun. He's my favorite part about the movie.
Such a fun lead for that movie. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I think there were a lot of really good like lead actors and actresses and support. I had like multiple stuff for like all of this stuff.
I was gonna
mention
there was a
lot of really good performances.
The nominees just in general, I was really happy with this year. And maybe it's just because I actually watched more of them this year or what, but this seems like a very solid lineup of nominees in just about every category. So
I think, I think specifically for the acting.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. There's some categories that I'm like,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple.
But like for the acting, there was just a lot of fantastic performances last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move on to our final segment.
And our last and final category.
Our last and final category.
It's the end all, the be all, the all.
Wow. Perhaps the most prestigious award.
Yeah, probably the most prestigious film award I can think of.
Yeah.
Best Picture.
Very nice.
And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking.
Very nice. We've seen all but one of these this year, which is crazy.
Just not Women Talking.
Micah, we're two guys with a podcast. Of course, we haven't seen Women Talking.
I wanted to watch Women Talking, guys. I swear.
I know. We prioritized After Sun over Women Talking, and
what does that say about us?
Yeah, what does that say?
I guess is Women Talking female directed?
I believe so, yeah.
Then they were both female directed.
I was about to say,
movies,
I forgot. I keep forgetting
do?
After Sun is a female directed movie, but it is, yeah. Very well. Oh my gosh, After Sun. What a picture, man.
It should have gotten some. I almost thought about putting it for some other snubs, but I was like, eh.
But yeah.
What are your picks and predictions, Ravi?
What picks? Plural?
I mean, you can have multiple picks if you want.
Well, I only went with one.
Go crazy.
Best Picture. It's a really solid lineup this year. And for me, it was between The Fabelmans and Tar. Just because those are the two that have stuck with me the most, and I ended up going with Tar as my pick. If I could have one of these win Best Picture, it would be Tar.
Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal like masterwork of technical craft and like amazing direction and a outstanding lead performance. It's just like a perfect storm of greatness that I think is one of the best Picture nominees there is, like in the history of the Oscars.
Yeah.
My prediction for the winner is Banshees of Inisherin. I think it has the power to do it. I know a lot of people are thinking Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to take it, but I have faith that Banshees is going to pull it through. What about you, Micah?
My pick is also Tar. I think it's a special movie. I don't think you get movies like this very often. And I think even more so than a lot of these, which I would hold on equal or higher ground in quality. Like, I don't know. I honestly would say that probably I think The Fabelmans is like a better movie.
I don't know.
But
maybe.
like Tar, I think is really doing something special, and I think it deserves the Best Picture win.
Right.
I think it all around comes together to being the most memorable movie I've seen from 2022, probably.
Oh yeah.
Next to like After Sun, surprisingly enough, but that's probably just recency bias.
Yeah.
Like Decision to Leave and stuff like that. But it's very, very memorable, and I really, really loved it. So that's my pick. As for predictions,
it's a toss-up.
I have three, and they're the ones that I can just see winning.
Okay.
So I could see All Quiet on the Western Front taking this easily, honestly. And
I would be really sad.
I wouldn't be happy about it, but I could see it happening so easily.
Yeah.
I could see Everything Everywhere All at Once taking it just from hype. I think that's probably the least likely one to happen. It's got a lot of hype, but like I don't know.
I'm scared. I'm scared that it's going to take Best Picture.
And then the out of left field one, I think honestly, I could see Women Talking winning.
No, absolutely, I could. If it doesn't take adapted screenplay, it's definitely going to take Best Picture.
Because I feel like oftentimes people get caught up on like the most popular ones, and that's often not what ends up winning Best Picture. And I could see Women Talking being like a unique, and a lot of politics come into the Oscars. It's got a political message that would like be good for Oscar winning, and like it feels like it could to me win Best Picture.
Yeah, no, I think Women Talking is a solid pick. Honestly, like, there are so many movies, like, I could even see, like, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Way of Water took Best Picture, which is so strange in my mind, but, like, this is a really solid lineup for Best Picture nominees.
Dang, I thought of a bad joke.
Oh no.
That Hollywood doesn't want their women talking.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Wow, that's like the most basic joke that everyone has made.
I bet somebody will make it at the Oscars.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, do you have like
it's only because I was about to say it's only because Hollywood's been so sleazy and awful to women over the years.
Yeah. But do you have any snubs for Best Picture?
I have one.
I did not put it.
I have one.
Shockingly.
It was kind of a last minute. Like I might as well put it. Decision to Leave. Heck, in the same train, I'd throw After Sun on there too. I don't think either.
Throw Nope in there for good
I don't
measure.
think either of them would take it. But I think Decision to Leave, like, it has the juice to pull it off. You know, like Parasite did. I think Decision to Leave could be up there.
I think
in terms of an international
being like a romance movie is kind of stunning it from doing anything like in the best picture.
Because people hate romance.
I don't know why, man. What happened to the romance genre? What happened?
A romance movie would never win Best Picture these days.
Right.
At least it's like a tragic romance. So like,
oh, there you go, Micah. Maybe
they're not getting together, Revy. You can't. They're not actually happy by the end. So the Oscars will approve.
Wow. But yeah, that's a solid pick for sure.
But yeah, and that's the Oscars.
That's the Oscars, baby. The 95th Oscars Academy Award whatever ceremony. Which is
thank you for attending.
I think it's happening this Saturday.
No, it just happened, Revy. We were hosting it. Millions of people have tuned in.
That's crazy.
Which won't happen for the other Oscars.
Unlike the other Oscars.
Because they hate us. They don't want you to be able to watch the Oscars. Like last year when they cut 90% of the categories from being on air and also still only put it on stupid cable.
Yeah, again... it looks like you can only watch the Oscar ceremony through ABC, either via satellite or cable, which sucks for availability. But you know, you can keep up with the winners and stuff.
Do you know if they'll actually be playing all of them this year? Like if they'll go through all the categories?
I think they mentioned that they're gonna have more. And they're gonna keep the speeches like really, really short this year. I'm like, well, that's a shame. I don't know. I just want make the ceremony longer.
No, it will. Well, that's the thing is the reason they're doing that. The reason they cut it shorter was because not as many people are watching.
Yeah.
And it probably cost them more money, and they just wanted to keep a shorter time slot, so they cut it down to just the ones they thought people would be interested in seeing. But most people who are actually going out of their way to tune in the Oscars want to see a lot of the categories that they cut.
The technical categories.
And like what they don't realize is the reason nobody's watching the Oscars is because it's only on cable. Yeah, nobody's got cable.
I'm gonna try and watch them at least via like the live satellite that's built into my smart TV, but we're gonna see how that goes. It was buggy at best last year when we watched, but yeah, hopefully we will have a nice time doing that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, as goofy and stupid as the Oscars are sometimes, the only takeaway you should have from it is to have fun with it. If you're not having fun, then you shouldn't care about the Oscars at all.
I was about to say, it's meant to be like a nice celebration of some of the artists who work on movies, and not really much more than that in my mind. But try not to put too much emphasis on it. Have fun. Let us know like some of your favorite nominees or snubs if you want to. We have a section in Spotify if you're listening there where you can put them in, or if you're listening on YouTube you can drop them in the comments.
or if you're on Letterboxd, if you're on our HQ page, you can I don't know what we're gonna do for a post for this on Letterboxd, but you can comment stuff on there.
Absolutely.
Definitely check out our Letterboxd recently logged HQ page.
Yeah, it's just at recently logged on Letterboxd. We have a fully featured HQ page for you to check.
Very much appreciated if you go check that out. It's a very cool thing. You'll enjoy it.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Tuning in.
I don't think we're not going to do what we want.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say way too long.
Way too long.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Absolutely.
Bye.